Glenn, good afternoon. Yeah, this is still a very active and developing investigation. Police have not yet positively identified the two victims in this murder-suicide investigation, but we do know that they are in their 30s. The man living here in an apartment just beyond this gate here in the Palazzo Apartments. This all unfolded, you can see from Sky 5 around 7:30 this morning. A neighbor calling 911 after hearing and screaming from a woman in a next-door apartment. We're told the initial call said that as many as 10 shots were heard. Patrol officers arrived on scene. They entered the apartment. They found a back bedroom door closed, and when they tried to enter that back door, that's when they heard an additional 2 shots. The SWAT team was called in. They came in as a precaution, and when they finally entered the apartment, they found a man and woman dead from wounds.
Hollywood often looks bright and perfect from the outside, but behind the cameras, many heartbreaking stories exist. Fame does not always protect people from pain, and sometimes it hides it even more. Today, we remember one of those stories, involving a talented woman whose life ended far too soon. Stephanie Mosley was a gifted dancer with a growing career and big dreams ahead of her. She was loved by fans and respected by those who worked with her. In 2014, her promising journey came to a sudden and shocking end when her husband, Earl Hayes, took her life. The news stunned the entertainment world and left many people struggling to understand how something so violent could happen to someone so full of life. Not long after, Earl ended his own life as well. This final act only deepened the anger and sadness surrounding the tragedy. Many felt that he should have lived to face justice and carry the weight of what he had done. Stephanie never got that chance. Her death is a painful reminder that success and beauty do not guarantee safety or happiness. Behind the spotlight, real struggles can exist.
Stephanie Mosley, a beautiful actress and a dancer who worked on the VH1 show Hit the Floor, and with J-Lo, Pharrell, Rihanna, amongst many others, to death at the hands of her rapper husband, who then killed himself.
And all of this witnessed by boxing champ Floyd Mayweather Jr., who was FaceTiming with the rapper when the murder-suicide took place. It is unbelievable. We were on the scene minutes after the rang out. And then again today asking something that everybody's asking, why? Why and how could something...
But what could he have discovered at that time? What truth or hidden detail was so shocking, so disturbing, that it pushed a man who once claimed endless love into sudden hatred? How does someone go from promising loyalty and protection to committing such an unforgivable act? Something clearly snapped, and whatever he believed he uncovered must have shaken him to his core. In his mind, it was powerful enough to erase years of affection and replace it with rage. That single moment of realization, real or imagined, changed everything. It turned love into betrayal, trust into suspicion, and devotion into violence. What happened behind closed doors remains unknown, but the question still lingers. What secret could drive a person to cross a line so final, so brutal, that there was no return?
I knew Stephanie pretty well. She was one of my dancers for a while. It was a devastating thing.
She's just loved. She will never, ever, ever, ever be forgotten. She is so loved, and it's just too short, and that's it.
Giving back is, why we do all this.
Stephanie Mosley was stunning and danced with Hollywood's elite. J-Lo, Janet Jackson, and Chris Brown. She also starred in VH1's Hit the Floor. E.T. was with her behind the scenes.
She was just a huge light for us, a wonderful person.
Even though this tragedy happened years ago, the damage it caused in Hollywood is still talked about today. Recently, those conversations have grown louder, especially with the FBI taking a closer look at old records connected to Diddy. As investigators dig deeper, familiar names keep resurfacing, including Tupac Shakur, Biggie Smalls, Aaliyah, and Kim Porter. Now, Stephanie Mosley's name is also being mentioned again, and people are questioning whether her tragic death deserves renewed attention. For those who may not know her story, Stephanie was far more than just another dancer hoping for fame. She was a skilled professional who worked hard long before the spotlight ever found her. Born and raised in Vancouver, Canada, Stephanie discovered her love for dance at a young age. Through strict training, focus, and natural talent, she quickly stood out from others around her. By the early 2000s, she had moved beyond small stages and into the global entertainment scene. Her talent earned her spots as a backup dancer for some of the biggest stars in music. Stephanie performed alongside artists like Beyoncé, Usher, Janet Jackson, Chris Brown, and Jennifer Lopez. Her career was steadily rising, and her future looked incredibly bright before it was tragically cut short.
My best friend called me on FaceTime. We was talking a little bit. He put Stephanie on the phone. I talked to her, and I could tell that they looked like they both were doing drinking real heavy. I could tell they'd been up all night. They was talking. I heard the bath water running. He put it on FaceTime. He got back on the phone. I'm kind of getting choked up from this. So then I said, "Why you calling me so early in the morning? How you know I'm up?" He said, "Because I love you." And he said, "There's something else you don't know." And I was like, "Huh?" And then he reached down and put out a gun. I said, "Man, what are you doing with that gun?" He started shooting, then he shot her. And then he put it into his head. And that's what it was. Then I had to bury my best friend.
These were not small or one-time jobs. Stephanie became a regular presence in major music videos, global tours, and award show stages. One of the most important parts of her career was her long working relationship with Beyoncé. She appeared in several tours and major performances, earning respect behind the scenes. People in the industry saw her as dependable, skilled, and fully committed to her craft. She had worked hard for her spot and was getting closer to the height of her success. As her name grew, she moved into television and film. She appeared in movies like Step Up Revolution and on shows such as So You Think You Can Dance, where she also helped as a choreographer and mentor. By the late 2000s, she was no longer just performing. She was becoming a creative leader. Around this time, she met Earl Hayes, an aspiring actor and model. Though his career was smaller, he was well connected, especially through his friendship with Floyd Mayweather. Their relationship was passionate but troubled. They married in 2008, but jealousy and accusations later caused tension. Despite a separation, Stephanie returned, hoping things could improve. Tragically, on December 8, 2014, Earl shot Stephanie in their Los Angeles apartment before taking his own life. She was only 30 years old.
It was an absolute angel. She really was. Everybody she's ever met. She's brought so many of these people into my life. She's connected so many people together. And she's just loved. She will never, ever, ever, ever be forgotten. She is so loved.
And everyone has their problems, but if you're asking if anyone knew that, something would come to this, hell no. It was the last of what anybody would have thought. I thought it was a lie when I got the phone call.
Did she in recent days say anything that worried you?
Yeah, we share.
Her death sent shockwaves through the entertainment world. Artists, dancers, and creatives shared heartfelt tributes, remembering Stephanie not only for her talent, but for her warmth, drive, and generous spirit. She was someone who lifted others up, and her loss left a deep emptiness in the community she loved. Earl's actions, however, raised far more questions than they answered. People began to wonder about jealousy, control, hidden conflicts, and whether something darker had been brewing beneath the surface for a long time. Nothing fully explained how events reached such a tragic ending. Years later, as old Hollywood records resurface and federal investigations begin pulling on long-buried threads, Stephanie Mosley's name has returned to public discussion. With it comes an uneasy reminder that behind fame, applause, and red carpets, some stories never truly fade away. Friends like Eva Marcel were stunned by what happened. She knew Stephanie and Earl had problems, but they seemed like the normal ups and downs many couples face. There were no clear warning signs, no dramatic signals that pointed to such a violent outcome. To those closest to her, the tragedy felt sudden, shocking, and impossible to predict.
At the time, Mayweather said that he'd been FaceTiming with Hayes trying to convince Hayes to leave his wife after she allegedly had an affair with Trey Songz. In another post, 50 continued, saying that this wasn't necessarily the case. Tell everybody why he was on FaceTime when he killed Stephanie and himself. Because he was confronting you about f***ing his wife. He was pumping out like Trey Songz. Get the f*** out of here. You didn't give a f***. You just went to watch the ball.
Lately, rumors have begun spreading that Stephanie may have been carrying secrets of her own. Some people believe these hidden truths were so serious that once they came to light, everything fell apart. According to this talk, the discovery caused chaos, fear, and emotional overload, which may have pushed Earl into a state of panic. In that confusion, he not only took Stephanie's life but later ended his own, avoiding the consequences of what he had done. One rumor claims Stephanie was involved with singer Trey Songz. This idea gained attention after he shared a tribute soon after her death, calling her an angel and expressing deep affection. His words made some people question whether their connection was more than friendship. Still, no proof ever confirmed this claim. Another story points toward Floyd Mayweather, who was known as a close friend of the couple. Some believe their relationship may have crossed boundaries behind closed doors. Rapper 50 Cent has hinted at this possibility in the past, but it remains unclear whether he was serious or simply stirring controversy. At the end of the day, these stories remain unproven. They are whispers, not facts. What truly happened may never be fully known, leaving behind speculation, unanswered questions, and a tragic loss that still haunts many today. Was this tragedy driven by simple jealousy, or was it fueled by resentment tied to secrets Earl was said to have uncovered about Stephanie? Some believe these alleged truths could have destroyed her career and everything she worked for. The answers are still unclear, and more details may surface later. For now, people continue to share their opinions, adding even more mystery to the situation. One person claimed the rumor was that Floyd Mayweather was involved with Stephanie, and that this was the reason Earl called him before the shooting. According to that view, fans and people close to Floyd tried to shift blame by pointing fingers at another rapper instead. Others who were allegedly part of the same circle later suggested that this situation had been going on quietly for some time, which only made tensions worse. Another voice argued that Stephanie's career was rising fast while Earl's ambitions were going nowhere. They believe she was preparing to leave him for someone more powerful, which caused him to lose control. Some even accused Trey Songz of damaging the marriage, calling his public tribute unsettling if the rumors were true. Still, none of these claims have been proven. They remain speculation. So what is the real honest truth? Was Trey involved and stayed silent, or did Floyd play a deeper role? The truth may never fully come out.